So welcome to all of you Shiksha 360, and today basically we will discuss chapter number 10 and set number 10. Clear? This is basically set number 10 and basically questions from 116 to 118. Clear? Questions basically from 116 to 118. Clear? Total basically 12 questions basically we have to discuss, but with the detailed discussion. Clear? So that you are able to understand all the points properly. Clear? And let's start. And I request to all of you basically please subscribe our YouTube channel for all the updates. Clear? That is Shiksha 360. So the first question basically on your screen now, that is basically full form. Clear? That is basically a full form. Expand NCCD. Clear? Expand NCCD. Clear? Basically what is the full form of NCCD? So NCCD basically stands for option number A, that is National Council on Crime and Delinquencies. Second one is National Council on Credit and Debentures. Third option is basically National Council on Commercial and Deregulation. D option is none of the above. Clear? Basically D option is none of the above. Clear? So what is the correct answer? Correct answer here is that is option number A. Clear? That is correct answer here is basically option number A, that is National Council on Crime and Delinquency. Clear? National Council on basically Crime and Delinquency. Clear? This one is our correct answer. Clear? This one is our correct answer. Clear? Now move to the next question. This one is correct answer. Now move to the next question. Question number 117. Now move to the next question. Question number 117. Please go through the question very carefully. Clear? Please go through the question very carefully. Clear? So budget documents classify basically total expenditure. Clear? Basically budget documents basically classify total expenditure into plan and non-plan expenditure. Clear? Budget document basically classify total expenditure basically into plan and non-plan expenditure. Which of the following basically comes under the non-plan expenditure? Clear? Basically which of the following basically comes under the non-plan expenditure? Clear? Here basically we have to find out basically which of the following basically comes under the non-plan expenditure. Clear? So first of all, basically we have know that basically under the non-plan expenditure, basically we have two things. First one is the revenue expenditure. And second one here, basically we have capital expenditure. Clear? Here basically we have capital expenditure. Clear? Under the non-plan expenditure. So let's discuss interest payments. Clear? Basically this is comes under the revenue expenditure. Clear? This one is also correct one because it is comes under the basically non-plan expenditure. Second one is basically defense services. Clear? Basically defense is also included under that. Third one is subsidies. Clear? This one is also included that. Fourth one is basically salaries and pension. Clear? Basically salaries and pension. Clear? This is also included that. Clear? Under the non-plan expenditure. Clear? Under the non-plan expenditure. Clear? So all the above 4 points are basically included under that. So option number D is our answer. Clear? That is 1, 2, 3, 4. Clear? That is 1, 2, 3, 4. So this is our answer. Clear? So this is our answer. Clear? So please go through the points very carefully. Clear? Please go through the points very carefully so that you are able to answer the question properly. Clear? So that you are able to answer the question properly. Clear? All questions are basically easy. Just basically you have to understand the concept. Clear? Basically what they want to say here. Clear? Basically what they want to say here. Now move to the question number 118. Clear? Now move to the question number 118. So basically what it says that question number 118 says that basically which of the following basically it is a revenue expenditure. Clear? Basically which of the following basically it is a revenue expenditure. Clear? So revenue expenditure. Clear? First of all, basically we will know that basically what is revenue expenditure. So revenue expenditure basically it is what? Basically that is expenses incurred. Clear? Basically expenses basically incurred or spent to meet the regular needs of the government. Clear? To meet the regular needs of the government and will not yield any revenue. Clear? And basically will not yield any revenue in the future, clear, and basically will not yield any revenue basically from that in the future, clear, and will not yield any revenue basically from that in the future, clear. It generally basically we can say that basically government here spends money, clear. Journal basically we can say that basically here government basically spends money that cannot recover, clear, cannot recover. So construction of the factory shed, clear, there is construction, that is capital. So this one is not our answer, clear. So this one is our not our answer, clear. Now second one here, that is sales tax, clear, basically sales tax paid in connection, clear, basically sales tax basically paid in connection basically with the purchase of office equipment, clear. Sales tax basically paid in connection, clear, basically sales tax basically paid in connection with the purchase of office equipment, clear, that is sales tax basically in the end basically it will goes to the government, clear, basically in the end basically it will goes to the government, clear. So it will not basically we will consider under the revenue expenditure, clear, that is basically sales tax, clear, basically in the end all these taxes, clear, basically comes under the government, clear, basically it will go to the government, clear. So that is basically revenue shift, clear, it is a revenue shift. It is a revenue shift, not a expenditure, clear, because sales tax basically comes in the end basically in the hands of the government. Third one is basically legal expenses in connection with the defending a title to firm's property, clear, basically legal expenses basically in connection with the defending a title to firm's property, clear. Last one basically fourth option is license fees, clear. License fees also, like basically we can say that basically you are purchasing a basically we can say that vehicle, clear. So basically you are applying the we can say that like RC, clear, or basically you are basically want to purchase a weapon, clear. So basically you have to pay a fees, clear, or basically you want to basically any license for running a shop, clear. In that also basically you have to pay a fees, clear, and that will basically directly goes in the hand of the government, clear. That fees basically in the end basically it will goes in the hands of the government, clear. That fees basically goes in the hand of the government, clear. So that is also basically one type of a shift, clear. So this one is also not our answer, clear. So this is our answer, clear. So this is our answer, clear. Sometimes basically you are not able to understand, clear, basically how they frame the question, clear, how they frame the question, clear. So basically at that time basically what you have to do, go with all the points one by one, clear, basically go with all the points basically one by one. Here basically we are facing some issue in the option number C, clear. That's why basically leaving that option number C, basically we are moving towards directly the option number D, clear, so that basically we are able to understand the concept, clear. So basically we are able to understand the point, basically what the option number D wants to say, clear, basically what the option number D basically wants to say, that clear. Hope it is clear to all of you. Clear. Now move to the next question, clear. So here basically legal expenses we can say that in connection basically with the defending a title basically to firm's property, clear. That is legal expenses basically we can pay to the advocate, clear. Legal expenses basically paid to the advocate, clear. Expenses here they have mentioning the word expenses, clear. If they we can say that basically legal fees, so that is basically sometimes basically we will refer to it as a court fees, clear. Legal fees basically we refer to it as a court fees, like basically for basically registering any case, clear, in the court, that is basically legal fees, clear. Here that is basically legal expenses. Legal expenses basically we can say that that is expenses basically related to the paid to the advocate, clear, basically paid to the advocate, clear, not legal fees, clear. So please remember all these points. Now move to the next one, question number 119. Very important and tricky question, clear. Please go through the question very carefully. First of all, basically I will explain a concept here also, and I request all of you please answer the question, clear. Dash is a revenue shift of the government, clear. Basically dash is a revenue shift of the government, clear. First of all basically I will tell you basically what is revenue shift, clear. Basically what is a revenue shift, clear. Please remember these things, clear, while answering the question. Please remember basically these things in your mind, clear. What is the meaning of these points, clear? So what is the meaning of revenue shift here, clear? Basically what is the meaning of revenue shift here, clear? Revenue shift, it is basically that basically it is basically those are shifts we can say that basically those receipts which need not to be paid again, clear, basically which need not to be paid again. Please understand carefully, clear, which need not be to paid again to the pay by the government, clear, basically by the government, and it also includes, clear, and it also includes, clear, basically, and it also includes basically income from the government assets, clear, basically, and it also includes basically income from the government assets. Clear, basically, sometimes basically this type of question basically will be asked. So basically revenue receipt, it is a one-way transaction or a two-way transaction, clear? It is a basically one-way transaction, clear? Revenue receipt, basically it is a one-way transaction, clear? Basically you will get money only, clear, in that. You have not to pay again, clear? Basically you not have to pay again, clear? So let's discuss with the points. Funds raised by the government basically by issuing national savings certificate, clear? In that basically, in the end basically you have to pay back these funds basically to the public, clear? You have to give back these funds basically to the public, clear? So that is basically not comes under the revenue receipt, clear? So this is not our answer. Now move to the second option. Sale of 40% shares of a public sector undertaking to a private company, clear? To a private enterprise, clear? Basically if a government basically sells any public sector undertaking, clear? So they will get the money, clear? So they will get the money, clear? So basically in that government basically have to return the money to the public enterprise basically in the future to the private enterprise, clear? So basically whether it is a revenue receipt or not, this is a revenue receipt, clear? Basically sale of 40% shares. Basically if the government has basically 100 rupees share in any, basically 100 rupees, clear, in any company, clear, and if they are selling basically 40% of that, clear, that is 40 rupees, clear? So basically government will get 40 rupees and 40% share basically will goes to the, we can say that ABC enterprise, clear? So that is basically the revenue receipt, clear, because government has not to return that money, clear? So that is basically a revenue receipt, clear? That is basically a revenue receipt. Okay, wait a minute. Sale of 40% shares to of a public sector enterprise to a private enterprise. Not, sorry, this is not a revenue receipt, clear? This is a disinvestment, sorry. This is a disinvestment, sorry, this is not a revenue receipt, clear? Third one is basically profits of LIC. Profits of LIC, that is a public enterprise, clear? So this is a revenue receipt, clear? Profits of LIC, clear? That is basically profits of LIC. Profits of LIC, that is a public enterprise, clear? Like basically how basically the government basically will get profit, clear? How the government basically will get profit, that is in the form of dividend, clear? In the form of dividends or directly, clear? Or sometimes basically they are mentioning the dividend. So this is also a revenue receipt, clear? Dividend basically it is also a revenue receipt, clear? Option number B, that is basically it is a disinvestment, clear? That is disinvestment, clear? Please take care, clear? Please take care, clear? So that is, it is a basically disinvestment, clear? So C is the correct answer here, clear? C is the correct answer here. Clear? C is the correct answer here. That is amount borrowed from Japan. Fourth option is amount borrowed from basically Japan for construction of a bullet train, clear? That is amount borrowed basically from Japan for a construction of a bullet train, clear? Basically in the end basically we have to return that money, clear? In the end basically we have to return that money basically to the Japan, clear? Basically to the Japan. So basically it is not considered also a revenue receipt, clear? Basically it is also not considered a revenue receipt, clear? So option number C is our answer, clear? Option number C is our answer. Please tell fast, this question is clear to all of you or not? Please respond fast, this question is clear to all of you. Now move to the next question, question number 120. So in that basically they are asking different things, clear? So categorize the following basically into revenue expenditure and the capital expenditure, clear? Basically we have to categorize basically into the revenue expenditure and the capital expenditure, clear? Basically we have already discussed what is revenue expenditure, clear? So capital expenditure basically it is that expenditure basically that helps to create either permanent assets or yield periodically income. Clear? Or yield periodically income. Clear? That is basically after every 1 month. Clear? Basically we are getting income. Clear? From that. Clear? That is basically known as the capital expenditure. So first one here, that is basically repayment of loan with interest. Clear? First point here basically which we have to discuss here, that is repayment of loan with interest. Clear? That is repayment of loan with interest. So basically it comes under what? Clear? Basically repayment of loan with interest. Clear? So basically it is comes under that. So repayment of loan amount. Clear? Basically it is a capital expenditure. Clear? Repayment of loan amount. Basically it is a capital expenditure. Clear? Basically how it is a capital expenditure. Clear? Basically it reduces the liability of the government. Clear? Basically it reduces the liability of the government. Clear? Basically it reduces the liability of the government. Clear? It reduces the liability of the government. Clear? But basically sometimes basically just they are asking basically interest. If they are saying that that is interest amount. So interest amount basically it is a revenue expenditure. Clear? Interest amount basically it is a revenue expenditure. Clear? Because interest it neither creates any asset or nor reduces any liability. Clear? If sometimes basically they are just mentioning the interest amount. Clear? So that is basically considered under the revenue expenditure. Clear? Because it does not create any liability or not creates, basically it does not create any asset or not reducing any liability. Clear? So here basically they are mentioning repayment of loan with interest. That's why basically we will include under the capital expenditure. In the option number A, this is also capital expenditure. In the option number B also. In the option number C, in the option number D. Clear? Basically from one point, basically we are not able to eliminate any option. Clear? Basically from the first point. Clear? Second one, basically we will move towards the directly fifth point. Clear? That is construction of school building. Clear? Basically we know that that is basically here the word comes construction, that is capital. That is basically creation of any asset. So this one is capital, this one is capital, this one is capital, this one is capital. In that also basically we are not able to eliminate any option. Now move to the next case. Now move to the next case, that is subsidies. Clear? Basically what is subsidies? Clear? Basically what comes under the subsidies? Clear? Subsidy, that is basically it is expenditure. Clear? Basically it is expenditure of the government, and that is revenue expenditure. Clear? Because it does not help to create any asset. Clear? That is revenue expenditure. Clear? In the option number A, fourth one is the capital expenditure. Clear? So this one is not our answer. In the option number B also this is capital expenditure. This one is not our answer. In the C option, fourth one is also capital expenditure. So this one is not our answer. Clear? So option number D is the answer. That is fourth one is the revenue expenditure. Clear? Fourth one is the revenue expenditure. Clear? So basically sometimes you have to just eliminate the option. Clear? In these types of question, try to eliminate the question first. Clear? Try to eliminate the option first so that you are able to move towards the correct answer. Clear? So that you are able to move towards the correct answer. Clear? Now move to the next question, question number 121. Clear? Now move to the next question, question number 121. Clear? If the borrowings, what question number 121 say that basically if the borrowings and other liabilities basically are added to the budget deficit. Clear? If the borrowings and other liabilities, clear, basically are added to the budget deficit, basically we will get revenue deficit, capital deficit, primary deficit, and fiscal deficit. Clear? First of all, basically here basically I will tell you basically what is the meaning of deficit. Deficit, that is basically means shortage. Clear? Deficit basically that is basically shortage, or we can say that shortage of money. Shortage of money. Clear? Or basically we can say that shortage of money. Clear? Basically for the expenditure. Clear? Or basically we can say that shortage of money basically for the expenditure. Clear? And here basically what they are saying that if borrowings and other liabilities basically are added to the budget deficit. Clear? First of all, basically I will tell you what is budget deficit. What is budget deficit? So budget deficit basically it is equal to total expenditure minus total liabilities. Total expenditure minus total liability, that is budget deficit. Clear? And here basically, if the borrowings and basically other liabilities basically are added to the budget deficit. Clear? If borrowings and basically other liabilities basically are added to the budget deficit, then it is basically known as the fiscal deficit. Clear? Basically, then it is basically known as the fiscal deficit. Clear? So option number D is our answer. That is fiscal deficit. Clear? Option number D is our answer. So in general, basically we can say that basically fiscal deficit, it is the amount of, clear, basically fiscal deficit, basically it is the amount of borrowings and other liabilities. Clear? Basically it is the amount of borrowings and other liabilities. Now move to the question number 122. Clear? Pick odd one out. Clear? Basically pick odd one out. Clear? So basically first one is securities basically issued against small savings, recovery of loans and advances, state provident funds, other SIPs. Clear? So what is the correct answer? Clear? Basically, what is the correct answer of this question? Here they are mentioning some few words. First one is basically securities basically issued against small savings. Second one basically they are mentioning here, that is recovery of loans and advances. Third one is basically state provident funds. So state provident funds basically it is comes under the, or fourth one is other SIPs. Clear? Basically fourth one is a other SIPs. Clear? So we know that basically securities issued against a small saving, that is basically debt receipts. That is basically which we have to pay. State provident funds also basically we have to pay. Other SIPs basically we have to also pay. That is also all are comes basically under the debt receipts. Recovery of loans and advances basically that is basically comes under the non-debt receipts. Clear? Basically comes under the non-debt receipts. So option number B is our answer. Clear? That is recovery of loans and advances. Clear? That is recovery of loans and advances. Clear? So this one is our answer. Now move to the question number 123. Pick odd one out. Clear? Basically pick odd one out. First one is loans to public enterprises. Second one here is pensions. Third one here is subsidies. Fourth one here is police. Clear? Basically fourth one here is police. Clear? Directly basically you will find these points. Clear? In the session. Clear? Basically which we have, where basically we have already discussed. Clear? So 123. Clear? The correct one, that is pension, subsidies and police basically all are comes under the basically revenue expenditure. Clear? Basically all are basically comes under the revenue expenditure. And loans to public enterprise. Clear? Basically loans to public enterprise basically comes under the capital expenditure. Clear? Basically that is basically comes under the capital expenditure. Clear? So this one is our answer here. Now move to the next question. Question number 124. Identify the capital receipt. Clear? Basically identify the capital receipt. Clear? Basically identify the capital receipt. Clear? First of all, I will tell you basically what is capital receipt. What is capital receipt? So basically capital receipts. Clear? Basically these receipts can be raised either from the already invested amount in the form of a loan given or an asset created by disposing it, or on the assurance that it will be paid back in future. Clear? It will be paid back in future. Basically if the government has not invested already. Clear? If the government has not invested already. Clear? So identify here basically what is capital receipt. Clear? Basically what is capital receipt? That is penalty, corporation tax, dividend on investment made by the government, or sale of a public sector undertaking. Clear? Or sale of a public sector undertaking. Clear? Or sale of a public sector undertaking. Clear? Basically I have already tell. Clear? In the nutshell basically I will tell basically what is capital receipt. Clear? That is basically a receipt due to the disposal of permanent asset. In simple language basically I will tell here, due to the disposal of permanent asset. Second one here, that is recovery of loan given to others. Third one here, that is fresh loans raised by the government. Clear? That are basically comes under the capital receipt. Clear? By the government. Clear? That is comes under the capital receipt. Clear? That is, it is a two-way transaction. First of all, money is given and in then it is to be returned. Clear? So basically identify the capital receipt. Clear? So penalty, corporation tax, dividend on investment basically made by the government, or sale of a public sector undertaking. Clear? Or sale of a public sector undertaking. Clear? So that is basically comes under a disposal of a permanent asset. Clear? So this one is our correct answer. Clear? So please remember these points. Clear? Please remember these points so that you are able to answer the question. Clear? So that you are able to answer the question. Clear? Basically, I will try my best so that you are able to understand all these points. Clear? Basically, all these points. Clear? Basically, from the question number 115, basically we will see that. Clear? Basically, all questions are basically rotated basically around all these four words: capital receipt, revenue receipt, capital expenditure, revenue expenditure. Clear? Just basically you have to understand. Clear? Basically, what is the difference between them. Now move to the question number 125. Identify the revenue expenditure. Clear? Basically, identify the revenue expenditure. Clear? Here basically we have to identify the revenue expenditure. Subsidies, loan given to the one question student say that, sir, same type of question basically comes in the examination. Yes, these types of question basically you will find in the examination. Clear? Just basically you have to understand. That's why basically I will discuss different questions. Clear? Identify the revenue expenditure. Clear? Subsidies basically where government basically will not earn anything. Loan given to the state government. Clear? Here basically government basically will interest. So this is not the revenue expenditure. Repayment of loan, not. This is a capital. Construction basically just mean capital. So option number A is the answer, that is subsidies. Clear? Option number A is the answer, that is subsidies. Okay. Now move to the next question, question number 126. So what is the relationship between the fiscal deficit and the primary deficit? Clear? Basically, what is the relationship between the fiscal deficit and the primary deficit? Clear? Basically, what is the relationship between the fiscal deficit and the primary deficit? Clear? Fiscal deficit and the primary deficit. Clear? So in simple language, basically we can say that basically how we can get the fiscal deficit. Clear? Basically how we can get the, sorry, primary deficit. Clear? Basically how basically we will get the primary deficit. Clear? Primary deficit basically we will get from the fiscal deficit minus interest payments. Clear? Basically fiscal deficit minus interest payment. Clear? So this one is our answer. Clear? Basically we have already discussed in detail regarding all these terms. Clear? Basically regarding all these terms. Clear? So option number B is the correct answer. Clear? Now move to the next question, 127. Fiscal deficit basically in the budget means. Clear? What is the meaning of the fiscal deficit? Clear? Fiscal deficit basically in the budget mean that is revenue deficit plus the net borrowings of the government. Second one is basically budgetary deficit plus the net borrowings of the government. Third one is basically capital deficit plus revenue deficit. Fourth one is basically primary deficit minus capital deficit. Clear? Primary deficit basically minus capital deficit. Clear? So basically fiscal deficit basically what is that? Basically budgetary deficit plus the net borrowings of the government. Clear? Plus the net borrowings of the government. Clear? That is budgetary deficit, that is total expenditure minus total receipts. Clear? That is budgetary deficit. Clear? Plus the net borrowings of the government. Clear? That is plus the net borrowings of the government. Clear? So option number, this one is our answer. Now move to the next question. Last question of our today's session. So categorize the following government receipt into revenue or capital receipt. Clear? So basically what they have given, that is profit of public sector undertaking. Clear? Basically profit of public sector undertaking. Option A, that is capital receipt. Option B is revenue receipt. Option C is A or B. Option D is neither A nor B. Clear? Option D is neither A nor B. Clear? So basically categorize the following government receipt basically into the revenue or capital receipt. So profit of a public sector undertaking, that is basically comes under the revenue receipt. Clear? That is basically comes under the revenue receipt. Clear? So this one is our answer. Clear? So this one is our answer. Clear? So basically in this session, basically we have to discuss up to this much point. Clear? Question number 128. Clear? Basically in the upcoming days, clear? Basically we will discuss some numerical based question on the basis of that. Clear? Or basically in the upcoming days, basically we'll provide you in the group. Clear? Some questions and some numerical based questions and case studies. Clear? On this concept. Clear? So thanks to all of you for attending this session. Hope it is clear to all of you basically what we have discussed today.